Hello, everybody, and welcome to a very special episode of the Project Infinite podcast, the podcast covering the infinite and ever-expanding multiverse of fandom for movies, comics, TV shows, video games. We got you covered. I'm Rob. I'm here as always with Court. And Court, we have so much stuff to talk about in the next, 2-3 weeks that we have to start splintering things off so we can talk about it all.
Dread it, run from it. Doing multiple episodes a week is a thing now. We're here. And buddy, you think we're a podcast? Guys aren't even on video yet.
Yeah, so we are going to talk about The Boys this episode.
I love The Boys.
Probably going to have to explicit tag this and just
go crazy?
Just go crazy, because talk about going crazy. That's what the show does. That's what the show painted its corner on. It was like, we're the show that just doesn't care, but also puts a significant amount of thought into what it is they're doing and what stories they're trying to tell.
And specifically season 3, I think hits that the hardest. And I think this is some of the best storytelling out of any of the superhero shows. And like you said, it is funny how far we've come from it being such this kind of shock when season 1 came out in live action, because if you're a fan of the Boys comics, you expect it. You already know what's going to happen. But this one feels like, when you see it in live action, it's like another gut-wrenching reaction to watching season 1 versus what's coming out. But now that we're kind of settled into this, man, people are loving this show. They're loving what this show is about. Kind of the dichotomy between, your Marvel and DC heroes and what this is. And to be honest, if superheroes were real, this is probably the closest thing to what would happen. There would be corporate-led superheroes that don't probably do much helping people, more just showboating around. And season 3 really came to a head, and it's got some of just my favorite sequences. It's probably got my top 3 favorite character of 2022 so far in Soldier Boy. Shout out Jensen Ackles of giving just one of the best superhero live action performances and 15 minutes of screen time for a whole season.
Yeah, it's kind of nuts what he was able to do with it feels like he was all over the show, but when you actually go back and look through it, he's not in it that much comparatively.
Yeah, that's a testament to the power you have over the show when your character's that well received and just that well done.
Yeah, when we talked about doing this episode, I had made the mention that this show feels like it's hitting the mainstream in a way that it wasn't in the previous 2 seasons. I mean, Amazon Prime itself is coming on as a legitimate streaming service now, whereas I don't think it was viewed as that before. But then, Invincible started coming out. I mean, you started, even if you want to go back to, Jack Reacher?
Yeah.
Started on Amazon Prime, so it's starting to figure some things out.
Yeah.
And I mean, we're recording this on the day of Comic-Con, and Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power had its own panel.
Right.
And that's a show that's obviously coming to Amazon Prime. And right now, I think The Boys is kind of the spearhead for Amazon Prime.
Right, and we're going to get God of War as well from Amazon Prime, so you can kind of see their path is being laid for greatness. And it starts with, like you said, The Boys, so let's talk about it. Let's talk about Season 3. I think we'll save maybe Season 1 and Season 2 for a later date, but I think we're just here to talk about, in my opinion, the greatness of Season 3 and why it was so well received by everybody. I think it's sitting at a 97% for the season on Rotten Tomatoes. Obviously, you want to take that with a grain of salt. However, I think it holds. I mean, it's just, there's this comedic, but there's also this very credible tension that just looms over the show, because it's Homelander himself, you can go off that, but it's just the fact that they'll kill, it's the Game of Thrones thing. They'll kill anybody at any time. So the whole thing is, you don't know who can go at any moment. It can be one of the heroes, it can be one of the boys, it can be one of the villains, it doesn't matter. This show is the perfect example of blurring lines. There's no heroes, there's no villains, there's just people that do good things sometimes and people that do bad things a lot of the time. That's it. And that's real.
Yeah, I mean, probably the closest one that is kind of fits the hero mold is Starlight.
Yeah.
That's really kind of it.
Right.
As far as characters that, for the most part, do good. You know what I mean? Huey, especially this season, kind of takes a backseat to that, even because he starts making questionable choices, and as it pertains to his personal life, as it pertains to his mission, because now the target is firmly on Homelander's chest. as we go into season 3.
So that's kind of the catalyst, is that they understand that there's no saving of Homelander. They fully know what Homelander's. They always knew what he was capable of physically, but now they know kind of mentally what he's capable of. And I mean, moreover, the biggest thing is that he's losing it. He's finally going off the rails, and it's the whole absolute power corrupts absolutely. He does not have any saving grace left once he decides. And there's a great sequence. I think it's in the 3rd episode where Starlight and him, because this season, want to jump into spoilers?
Yeah, we can just start so episode 1.
One of the big things that comes out of the earlier season is that Homelander kind of coerces Starlight into like a media relationship so he can hold a little bit more power over her. And there's this great sequence where Starlight tells him, I'm going to release the video of the plane from season 1. And he says, go ahead. Like, if they don't love me, then I don't have any problem destroying every piece of critical infrastructure on the entire planet and coming back and just start killing people. I don't have any problem being feared. It's fine with me. So that was the one thing they were holding over him, and he just doesn't seem to care. And that comes to one of the best payoffs at the end of the season.
Yeah, the only thing that he really cares about, because basically what happens is season 3 picks up a year after the end of season 2, where we saw Stormfront, and Homelander, but Vought is able to kind of spin it so that it was basically just Stormfront being a Nazi.
Right, and it's even to the point, so obviously this show is a parody on so many things. Specifically, this season kind of gets the parody of the Avengers kind of going, especially with Soldier Boy, but the show itself and kind of the Boys Comics is a parody of DC Comics, because DC Comics is like the classic 17, it's specifically the 7 for a reason. So I love the way the season starts with the Schneider cut itself. The show's background in episode 1 is basically they're at the premiere for the Dawn of the Seven, which is supposed to be a play on the Schneider Cut, because they even go as far to say as there was extensive reshoots and all these things, and it's a hilarious gag.
Because the movie makes Stormfront the villain. And played by
the cameo queen herself of 2022, Charlize Theron, played Stormfront, which makes sense. They probably wanted somebody with like blonde eyes and blue hair to play Stormfront, but not just a really
blonde eyes and blue hair.
I know what I said. Blonde eyes and blue hair. Just how the Nazis intended it.
Yeah.
Duh. So, it's this whole thing, what I love about the tension of the show? It's the close proximity. Like, I don't feel comfortable anytime Homelander's in any room, because he could just kill anybody he wants to anytime.
When he puts his hands on someone.
Oh my gosh. There's this great bit with Huey where Huey essentially breaks his arm because you find out in the last season that the head popper from season 2 is Victoria Newman, who, I need a dun-dun-dun for this one.
Dun-dun-dun!
Is Stan Edgar's adoptive daughter, and Stan Edgar was the one behind this all. But then she flips it on his head and she kicks him out of Vought.
Yeah, because so going back to the whole Homelander thing, like Stan Edgar, played by Giancarlo Esposito,
beautifully, is
really the only kind of check that Homelander has left. Right, That's it. He's the only one that can kind of hold any kind of power over Homelander, because at the end of the day, Vought is a company and Homelander works for Vought. So he still needs to appear like media friendly. So Stan Edgar's like, look, this whole thing with Stormfront is really bad. So what I'm going to do, Homelander, is instead of, taking away, your stature, I'm just going to name Starlight co-captain of the 7 because her approval ratings is through the roof. Yeah. Like, everyone loves her.
And that's the one thing about this show that just feels so dark, but it feels so real, that even amidst these gods amongst the humans and all these powers running around, the only thing some of these people are concerned about is just corporate approval, ratings, movie premiere. Like, that's the only thing that they care about.
Yep.
Like, we get the Stan Lee parody played just phenomenally and hilariously by Paul Reiser later. From, what do they call him? The
Legend?
The Legend, yeah. So he's essentially supposed to, it's in the Boys Comics, he's supposed to essentially be Stan Lee, but like a twisted version of Stan Lee. But his whole thing is like, he was just kind of, all he was just basically a movie producer for Vought. And he was essentially Stan Edgar before Stan Edgar.
Yeah. So Homelander's obviously not thrilled about this.
Nope.
While this is all going on, Vought has developed the temporary V, a compound V kind of subvariant that grants you superpowers kind of temporarily, obviously, temp-V. The government's not really having it.
No.
Because they're kind of over it.
Right.
Like, they're kind of overvought and everything that they've been a part of.
Right. I mean, that was a huge plot line in season 1, was getting Soups into the military. Like, that was a gigantic, like, plot thread that they kind of pulled on, that they wanted that power over the military to kind of have them, like, and it was like that before, and you kind of learn that once you hit episode 3, once we get fully with the Payback team, which is essentially their parody of the Avengers. Like, you fully see why they don't want Soups, and you kind of see they're not heroes. They really aren't. They're just people that just have these powers that they didn't even ask for, that they're just kind of, they feel like Disneyland, like, just caricatures running around. Like, that's all they feel like.
So what are the boys up to?
So
when season 3 starts?
The boys are back in town.
Yeah, and they're working for the government.
Yeah, what I like is, like, I like how just, nice this season starts off. Like, there's actual hope.
Like, everyone's moved on.
Yeah,
kinda?
everybody's moved on. Like, it's a pretty common season 3 thing for shows to do. Like, there's like a happy medium before, like, the real threat shows up.
Huey's working for Victoria Newman.
Mm-hmm. Which he doesn't know. He doesn't know yet.
Yeah, he's like the liaison between her and the boys.
Right.
The boys basically are like contractors.
Right, yeah. So they've been acquitted of all their charges over the last 2 seasons, for their help in apprehending Stormfront. They're helping Newman. Newman is essentially against Homelander. She wants oversight over the Soups. She pulled the Sokovia Accord. She said, you guys just can't be running around out there. Homelander said, what if I killed you?
And meanwhile, Maeve is working with Butcher. Trying to
She's doing a little more than working with Butcher.
She is doing, yeah. Butcher for all his grandstanding.
Yeah, he did. He folded.
He did fold.
Unbelievable. You were the chosen one, Butcher.
So they figure out, what's the deal? What's the deal with Payback? Right.
So,
that's basically what Maeve and Butcher are up to, because they know that Soldier Boy was the most powerful Soup around.
Again, the big thing for this season is kill Homelander. That's the big theme of this season. Make sure that guy is dead. Kill him by any means necessary. And they're like, what about Soldier Boy? Soldier Boy died. And they're like, what if Soldier Boy's not dead?
Well, at this point, they're just trying to figure out what killed Soldier Boy.
Right. They want to use whatever weapon killed Soldier Boy to kill Homelander.
And then Maeve is like, here's this temporary drug, Butcher, that Vought's been working on, just in case, level the playing field. And Butcher's like, all right, I guess I'll take it.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
I'll take it.
Meanwhile, Huey's and then some guy runs in and he's like, I need to see my friend, Nadia. And Huey's like, what? So he tells, he doesn't tell Newman about this because why would he? Because who's this loon? And also he's suspicious at this point because he's suspicious of everybody. So he follows Newman, and I think the guy's name is Tony.
Yeah, Tony.
Into an alley, and he's like, tell the truth about Red River. And she's like, no, I'm not gonna. Then there's a scuffle, and then she obliterates his head. Yeah,
she starts blowing bodies. So you find out it's not just heads. Like, it's literally like, I guess you could just create so much pressure in your body where it starts exploding. So she starts blowing limbs off of him, and then
and Huey's like, "Oh man,
crap!
Shit.
I thought the season was gonna be fine for us.
Just when I think I'm out,
just when I think I'm out, I'm right back in.
Pull me back in,
buddy. Go right back in.
We'll get there.
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep working on my Soldier Boy impression. Oh man, shout out Jensen Ackles was so good.
Yeah, so season 1, our episode 1, typical stage setter for where everybody is. We didn't get to the reality show yet, right? At this point?
No, I think that's in episode 2. So that's where we start getting the supersonic. We start getting Homelander being racist again, being a bigot again.
So we get to the this is I actually enjoyed this. This is like The Voice, but for superheroes. Gosh,
it's so smart. But it has weight because these people will actually join the 7 because obviously they need to replace some members, seeing as who's out?
Stormfront's dead.
A-Train's not on the team at that moment.
A-Train and the Deep are both
not on the
out.
team at that moment. They make it back this season. That's a huge part of what happens later.
Well, the Deep makes his way back by way of this reality show.
Yeah, right. What a twist. But yeah, so we're introduced to basically what's the old team's name or that young team's name? I always forget that.
I can't remember.
Who knows? The writers know.
They're like the Teen Titans.
Yeah, right, exactly. So Starlight used to be with them before. Who's on there? It's you got Supersonic, which is essentially Starlight's old flame. You think it's going to be a love triangle between her, Huey, and Starlight, or Stewie. Stewie Griffin. Huey, Starlight, and Supersonic. But you later find out that Supersonic is here for a good time, not a long time. And I really like what they did with Huey this season. So Huey kind of takes his whole arc is based around, him feeling powerless. And it's rightfully so. I mean, not only is his girlfriend just a soup. That's one thing. She's in the 7. She's got what did they say? She got 92 million followers on Instagram. She's literally the most famous woman in the world. And he's got no powers. He's got, he feels...
Which didn't bother him initially.
Before, but now you can start to see it get pulled. And I mean, it's because of Alex. It's because of Supersonic. He starts to see, man, it's more of I can't protect you. Now that we really know Homelander's going off the rails, there's a head-popping soup out there. How am I supposed to protect you? And boy, once the end of episode 3 hits, you're oh man, you're Huey, don't do it, man. Don't take the V.
No, don't do it.
Don't open the Darkhold.
And then the boys are still... So Huey is all of a sudden investigating Newman. So he goes to the orphanage under the proviso that he's looking to adopt a child. And this is an orphanage for gifted youngsters.
Mm-hmm. Right, and what was the old leader of Vought's name from that played Allie Mills in Cobra Kai / Karate Kid?
Oh,
I forgot her name.
Madeline?
Yeah, Madeline. Yeah, Madeline Stillwell. A great attention to detail. Her son, that obviously lived last season after she died, is one of the kids that's at at Red River. So you find out obviously that they were there. It's a little, like you said, it's kind of like the fake Institute for Gifted Youngsters. It's the throwaway youngsters.
And then surprise, surprise, Newman was there. She was an orphan once. Right. And who else? Who adopted her but Giancarlo Esposito?
Yeah. Giancarlo Esposito as Giancarlo Esposito adopted her.
And Huey's oh my god.
Crap.
Still waters run deep.
Yep.
In this Vought world that we live in.
They can't catch a break, man. They can't.
Nope. And then they're still the rest of the boys are still trying to get a track down on what happened with Soldier Boy. Mm-hmm. They find Crimson Countess and at a theme park. Mm-hmm. she's like a what happens to washed celebrities.
Right. They're the ones that it's your musical artists that'll go on tours in their 60s and still just play out, smaller venues and you'd hate to see it, but it's just the way the world works. Payback's not the 7, so they're kind of, being replaced, and she's just doing little shows.
Yeah.
Gunpowder. Gunpowder is
The show's political.
If you guys didn't... I couldn't believe there were people on Twitter that just didn't get it. They were taking it too literal, and I was guys, it's smacking you in the face.
Yeah.
So Gunpowder's at a gun
show. He's at a gun show.
Yeah, he's at a gun show / NRA meeting. It's great.
And Butcher's
Gunpowder's Newman's not gonna take our guns. I was no. This is too real. It's getting real.
You guys remind me of somebody.
I just don't. Oh, we'll come back to that. We'll get back to that at the last episode.
Yeah, Butcher confronts Gunpowder. Mm-hmm. He takes the 10V, and he's
oi. I got that 10V, eh?
He's what happened to Soldier Boy? And he's I'll never tell you. And Butcher just
beats the living crap out of this guy.
He's was Soldier Boy doing stuff to you? And Gunpowder's what? Never in my life. And Butcher's yeah, okay, buddy.
Yeah, buddy.
So he finally gets it out of Gunpowder that Soldier Boy died in Nicaragua while on a CIA mission led by who other than Butcher's old mate, Grace Mallory. And Butcher's of course.
Yep. So essentially, a young Stan Edgar. I hope somebody said if they ever do a prequel to to Breaking Bad that guy should play Giancarlo Esposito. I was like, oh yeah,
he did a great. He did a great job.
And not for nothing, the younger actress that played Grace Mallory too. Also, like they got their mannerisms really down packed. Like it was really good. I like the way she like walks in and like she just it's like this little shoulder tilt to like the arm cross like every time she gets like mad or something. It's great.
While all this is going on, it's Homelander's birthday.
It is Homelander's birthday.
So he's been visiting Stormfront, who we find out is still alive, but is she?
She's basically... Is this just the Peggy Carter situation from Winter Soldier?
I guess. She is cooked.
Yeah, she's... I'm not gonna lie, I'm getting cooked.
She's just speaking German.
Yeah. She's... Oh my god.
Homelander's having her jerk him off.
I just love how she's sitting there and like Homelander just really doesn't care about anything that she has to say.
He's just like...
Yeah. I gotta get out of here.
So it's his birthday.
Yeah. So happy birthday, Homelander.
So every year, I guess, they stage like a big heroic Homelander moment.
Yeah.
and in this case...
So, essentially it's the dark, twisted version of what Superman does in All-Star Superman, where he saves the girl from...
Yeah, so there's a girl who's about to jump off a building and kill herself, and Homelander's like, all right, here we go. Big hero moment.
And then
across the news...
Yep. Stormfront's dead.
Stormfront killed herself.
Yep.
She bit her tongue and choked on her tongue and died. And Homelander's like, she's gonna do this on my birthday?
Unbelievable. And this is the start. He starts losing it. He looks at the girl and he goes, "You know what? Go for it." And she's just like, "Nah, you know, Homelander, help me out. I don't think I'm gonna do it." No, he's like, "Nah, go ahead."
Crazy,
insane. Go ahead, take a leap.
Yeah. So she dies.
Yep.
Whether she might have been pushed.
She I don't want to say for sure, but
you don't want to slander Homelander.
Yeah. I'm like, Todd, I'm gonna get there. We're gonna get there.
And then, so fast forward to his actual birthday celebration. Starlight's like the host, and she's having a good time with this because she knows that she has some sort of power over him.
At this point, he hasn't gone into like that full monologue yet where he's like, I could just destroy everything.
Well, this is coming.
Yeah, it's coming. This is all the lead up to that. But yeah, she's like,
look at Homelander donated a bunch of money to my charity.
Yeah,
and Homelander's like, what?
Yep. And then it's all going. She's just like, I got it's over, Homelander. I have the high ground. And then
he's like, what if I had the high ground?
Yeah, Homelander's like, what if I had the high ground out in the higher ground? And then he's just like, you know what? Forget all this.
Yeah, he's like, I'm better than all of you.
Yeah, you need me.
Yeah.
He pulled the few good men line. You want me on that wall. You need me on that wall.
Vought is basically holding me prisoner, basically. Like, they're persecuting superhumans, this, that, and the thing. And I'm not gonna stand for it. I'm gonna drain the swamp. Stop me if you've heard that line before.
Hey, man. I'm just here to talk about the boys. I don't want to get political.
And then, so, you're anticipating some sort of fallout from that? Guess what the fallout is? Homelander's becoming really popular with a certain demographic, and he's like, "Oh yes,
my people.
I have a conglomerate of supporters."
Right,
now.
because he was so low, and then like you said, he gives that speech, and that's one of the big turning points. And
he keeps it real.
Yeah, he keeps it. Well, he's not afraid to speak his mind.
Right.
This is gonna be a tough one to get through. Let's get the soldier one, man.
We're not there yet.
No,
we can't get there. We're almost there. So now Homelander's got the juice back.
Yeah, he does. He does. He's feeling himself, and now he knows. He's just like, I just realized you have no power over me, because even if you think you have this video, which I know you do, and you can release it, it doesn't matter.
I could laser beam somebody in the middle of Fifth Avenue and still get all the votes.
Maybe we shouldn't have talked about the boys.
Now we're gonna keep talking about it because it's so obvious.
Yeah, and I think people are like, "Oh, look at that!" No, that's the whole point of the boys. Yep. Just wait till we get to the A-Train commercial. Shout out Kendall Jenner.
So his Homelander's like, "This is what we're gonna do. You're gonna bring the Deep back."
Yep.
First of all. Because that's my guy.
Yep. That's the homie. That's the day one. It's the day one.
And we're going to be a couple.
Yeah. Starlight's like, what?
I don't wanna.
And he's just like, do you want me to kill Huey? Do you want me to rip this kid in half?
Because he was always catching strays.
Oh my gosh.
No matter who it's from.
It doesn't matter. Wait till Soldier Boy shows up. Soldier Boy's just knocking Huey's emotional levels down.
And then, Starlight's kind of backed into a corner. Mm-hmm. And so she has to have a conversation with Supersonic. She's like, you don't really want to join the Seven.
Right. She's just like, you're gonna decline when they give you. It's like, hey, they're gonna give you the spot in the Seven on the fake voice parody. What do they call it? America's superhero, something like that.
Yeah, and Supersonic's like, absolutely not. But like, if you're in trouble,
yeah,
I want to be close to you to help.
Right, and you know what I love about The Boys? At no point did I ever 100% believe Supersonic was like. I did almost think that he was working for Homelander the whole time, but
yeah,
what I love, and it's such a good tension piece. But you find out that he's actually a good guy.
Yeah, he's actually a good person.
Maybe he shouldn't have been, because. R.I.P. Supersonic.
And then, so this is where Butcher confronts Mallory about the CIA operation. She's like, all right, this is what happened. Like, these superhumans are the worst. They're the worst. Mm-hmm. Like, you think it's going to be a great idea to bring this crew down to Nicaragua to help, and it just wasn't. Mm-hmm. They all sucked. Mm-hmm. And Soldier Boy was the worst of them all. Yeah,
that's what you find, like, these big American... It's essentially like, think of Captain America, because that's Soldier Boy's contemporary. All these things that, you hear about Captain America, he's this great war hero. Like, what happens if they just lied about Soldier? It's the same thing for Homelander, for Superman. He's this great war hero. No, he's not. They just lied about the whole... He's essentially just like a frat boy down there. Like, he's just like... They're like letting off like rocket launchers. Like, they're just messing around because they can't... They're they can't take it seriously. They have such a less chance of dying, which it doesn't affect them in any other way.
It affects one of them. So Black Noir is there.
Yeah, shut up, Black Noir.
And he...
The most emotional arc this season? Just wasn't expecting this.
Yeah, so he's there. You find out that Noir was on the Payback team and was kind of wanted to,
He wanted more. Yeah, he wanted more.
And Giancarlo Esposito's like, no.
Right. So I guess we should talk about the Boys comic for a second and the differences, because this is going to be a big piece, and for theory time for season 4. Noir obviously is played by a black man instead of a clone of Homelander, which I think this is going to come into play. So again, he's just like, what did he say? I want to be the new Eddie Murphy. I think I could be bigger than Eddie Murphy. And young Giancarlo Esposito's like, put the mask back on. Nobody cares. And he's just like, can you stop eating peanuts around me, man? You know I'm allergic.
Yeah, calling back to Noir's nut allergy.
That was hilarious ending to season 2. He said, he's just like, he's got a nut allergy. And I was like...
And then basically what happens is there's a skirmish, mm-hmm. and
they get ambushed, yeah.
Yeah, because one of them gives up their position.
Well, whoever the Wasp, Ant-Man Wasp hybrid.
He was flying around, and then he got rocket launched.
Yep.
And Mallory's like, see? That's what happens. Mm-hmm. And then there's a big firefight, and a bunch of people die.
Yeah.
And then Soldier Boy just
disappears.
Went missing.
Yeah.
Presumably he was killed by a Russian super weapon.
Yeah.
And Butcher's like, we had a Russian super weapon this entire time?
Yeah.
And you didn't tell me?
Yep. So, pack your bags, ladies.
We're going to Russia.
We're going to Russia.
If you didn't get enough of Russia in Stranger Things, if you didn't get enough of Russia in the real world news, we're going back to Russia.
That's two. That's two.
This episode doesn't count. This is a Boys episode. It doesn't count. It's not canon.
It's not canon.
It's not canon in the Project Infinite universe.
Yeah, it's not. This has got to go on like the dark web. This can't even be just a normal episode.
This is not me talking. This is my variant talking.
Oh, we got variant time on this? Speaking about variants, variants are going to be popping up in droves tonight.
Yeah. So they're going to Russia. And Huey's like, Butcher.
Yeah.
You got superpowers now? And Butcher's like, oi. He's like, yep.
You know what? Don't even say anything about Butcher. That's the only thing that he's ever said the entire series. Just oi. Oi.
And they get to the lab, and wouldn't you know it, Soldier Boy is alive.
What?
Winter Soldier style.
Yeah, so essentially they mixed the Captain America and they gave him a little bit of Winter Soldier in there. He comes back.
Well, before they pull him out, there's a firefight.
Yeah, no.
And Butcher fully exposes the fact that he has superpowers to the group, and MM and Frenchie are like, what?
Come on, man. But Huey's just like,
And then Huey uses his superpowers.
Yeah.
And Butcher's like, what? And they're like, hey.
Oi.
we got to level the playing field.
Yeah,
this is what this is.
Yeah, big piece from the boys' comic. It's like it's a major part of the boys' comic is they kind of, like you said, they level the playing field. They get their power. They take permanent V, which I think is gonna be a thing in season 4. Like, I don't want to get into that for Butcher yet. We'll kind of save that, but yeah, they take their temporary V. They're like, oh, I'm on top of the world. Except Huey's like, I don't have any clothes every time I teleport. So that kind of sucks.
Soldier Boy comes out of his little stasis. He just explodes.
Right. Yeah, just blows the
Kimiko
whole thing up.
Caught in the crossfire, and she's wounded. Mm-hmm. And you're like, what? That's not supposed to happen. So Soldier Boy is so radioactive. He has these radioactive blasting powers that presumably he got from the Russian experiments on him, and he can actually vaporize the compound V in a person's system. Mm-hmm. And that's what happens to Kimiko.
Yeah.
So she is rendered powerless and wounded, and
she couldn't be happier.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Yeah. And then so they're leaving, and then meanwhile, back at the ranch, back in America, there's a press conference going on to address Homelander's behavior. And then Newman's like, up there, you think we're getting ready, we're going to finally check Homelander. And then Newman's like, what if Stan Edgar was the bad guy?
Yeah.
And Giancarlo Esposito's like, what?
Yeah.
You going to do this to me?
And another big old, reveal moment is that Newman and Homelander are working together.
Sort of.
It's more of a enemy of my enemy situation.
They both realize that Stan Edgar's an issue.
Yeah. Maybe Stan Edgar's the villain.
Hey, maybe. And then
he wouldn't promote Noir. He is the villain. Noir's the homie now. Everybody loves Noir.
And then Homelander, in exchange for her cooperation, gives her Compound V to give to her daughter.
Yep. So her daughter, won't just...
Newman, you're the worst.
Yeah, Newman, you stink. You're just killing people at Congress meetings.
And now Starlight's recruiting people for like the anti-Homelander squad.
Right.
So she's got her.
She pulls the Thor from Thor Ragnarok and putting together a team.
She goes to Maeve.
Yep.
And Maeve is like,
get out of my face. I hate you. You're so nice. I hate you.
But fine.
Yeah, I hate Homelander a little bit more.
Maeve is like, she's just over it.
Yeah, she is. I love it.
She's over it.
Yeah.
And then she, begrudgingly goes to Alex, Supersonic. And he's like, what? Homelander's a psychopath?
Yeah, this isn't all that... I'm not going to be a superhero?
And then Alex, for some reason, tries to recruit A-Train.
Mm-hmm. And A-Train trying to get back... And we haven't even touched upon A-Train yet. His whole thing that he's got going on. His redemption arc. It's a corporate redemption arc. But it turns into a real thing. Real quick.
We thought we were getting there at this point. But no, because we didn't get to the scene where because basically the conceit with A-Train is if he runs one more time, it's curtains because of his heart.
Your heart will explode.
Yeah. So he's been packing on the poundage, and Homelander's like,
oh, get into the scene. Yeah. I think this is your favorite scene from the whole show.
What are you drinking?
I love how this show is set up. Like, this feels like an office moment where it's just like, I just love that they're just walking by each other in the tower. And like, amidst like Soldier Boy breaking loose, Newman being like, they're just walking in the tower. Like, just
Homelander's like
day.
Having like a crisis. And then A-Train's just like, what's up, Homelander?
Yeah.
And then Homelander's like, what are you drinking?
He pulled an Aaron Boone. Shout out the Yankees. He pulls an Aaron Boone. You gotta tighten that up.
He's like, Shake Shack, you want some? And Homelander's like, no, I'm good. But I see you've been packing on the poundage, you fat fuck. And A-Train's like, did I do something to like offend you? And Homelander's like, you're making us look ridiculous.
Yeah. And
you're supposed to be the fastest man alive, and what are you doing? You're eating cupcakes and drinking Shake Shack. Fastest peacemaker. What a joke.
Train. What a joke. Go check out the Suicide Squad review.
So
Shameless plug.
So Alex sees this, and he's like, oh, A-Train has been mistreated by Homelander. He'll be on my side. Well, famous last words, Alex.
Moments before disaster.
By the way, at this point, the Deep has been reinstated.
Oh, and one of the best twists from that show. They're like, because Homelander's like, I'm not having I
can't have a. It's funny that we were talking about Miss Marvel last week because
he's like, I can't have a Muslim on.
Yeah, he's like, 7? What the no,
absolutely not.
He's like, fine, you can have Supersonic, whatever, but I want the Deep.
Right. He brings Supersonic, like, on the show, he starts speaking Spanish to Supersonic, and Alex is like, I don't speak Spanish. Homelander's the worst. He's the worst.
Yeah, so the Deep's back, and
the way he entered too, he did like the turn. He did like.
I love that guy who plays the Deep. He's fantastic.
He's such a
Was it Chance Crawford?
I think so. Yeah,
he's great. And then so Alex sees A-Train being like bullied essentially. He's like, "What if we killed Homelander?" And A-Train's like, "I'm listening."
Yeah,
I'm listening. And then A-Train's like, "Hey, Homelander."
Yeah, I think they're plotting to kill you, man.
So Homelander finds Starlight, and he's like, "Come on. Let me take you home.
Yeah.
We're a couple.
Yeah.
Look at us. Happy couple. Hello, everybody. I'm going to take you the scenic route. I'm going to take you to this roof with a great view. Lo and behold,
Supersonic's just mangled body. R.I.P. Supersonic. You've been a real one, man. That's the price of being a hero in the boys' universe. Is death. Instant death.
And Homelander's like, look, if you step out of line ever again,
I'm going to do this to Huey. Don't touch Huey. That's Dennis Quaid's son. You don't do anything to Dennis Quaid's son.
Yeah. Don't touch Jack Quaid.
Yeah. He's a national treasure.
And then we get to episode 5, and we get to Kimiko and Frenchie, who have not had a ton to do this season.
Besides Frenchie saying Monker. That's it.
And Kimiko being thrilled.
I mean, Frenchie does have an arc with Lil Nina this season. That's been his kind of whole backdrop. So essentially, Frenchie's past is coming to haunt him. What does Lil Nina want? They kind of go to her because they need to get to Russia.
Well, she's like the person that's like, look, I've done all this stuff. Now you got to do stuff for me.
Yeah.
And Frenchie doesn't want to do stuff for her.
I'm a boy now. I'm part of the boys. I got my own girl.
Kimiko is just absolutely over the moon thrilled that she doesn't have powers anymore. And there's like a cute little musical bit.
Yeah. Oh, there's this really good piece that they use where I think it's in a later episode, but she's like, I think she's holding him, and then she's just like, I literally have to lay my hand on you, or else I'm going to crush your bones every time I touch you. Like, that's like, this is how it's been. And then,
it's awful.
Yeah.
Yeah, she portrays that kind of X-Men kind of mentality.
Yeah, for like
in
Rogue,
this universe. Yeah. Where like, I don't want to be superpowered. Yeah. Like, I was forced, like, she was legitimately forced into this life where she was a monster.
Yeah.
Like, what her powers made her into. So she's thrilled. And then Maven Butcher hooking up again. He's like, oi. And she's like, here's some more Temp V, Butcher.
Yeah.
And then they drink and they have sex with each other.
Yeah.
Butcher.
Yeah. You give me the Temp V, I'll give you the Temp D.
I'll give Very good. Very good. But then guess what? Maeve gets captured.
Maeve does get captured.
By Homelander.
Yeah.
That's the worst person to get captured by.
That's like, in the human history, Homelander's got to be in the top 3 worst people to get captured by.
While all this is going on, so Stan Edgar's out, and who gets promoted? Ashley gets promoted.
Oh my god, Ashley.
She's the worst.
She is the worst. Because you always think what they do with Ashley is Ashley has so many opportunities to do the right thing. And without fail, she's so conditioned to do the wrong corporate thing every time. She's got like an Ashley, like she's got like a clone of herself that she hates.
Other Ashley.
Other Ashley.
Meanwhile, A-Train is undergoing...
oh, man.
He's undergoing an overhaul.
He's going over a cultural crisis within himself.
He's going over a remodeling?
Right. So basically he's like, well, I need to do something. I'm a black man. Where are my roots in Africa? Ashley, look at my new suit. I put red and black and green in here. Africa. and Ashley's just like, oh, what the heck are you doing? Maybe not. Maybe we don't do this.
She's like, A-Train, look, I love black people.
Yeah.
But this ain't it.
This ain't it, A-Train. This can't... Black Lives Matter is my favorite hashtag, A-Train.
Cue the Kylie Jenner, Kendall Jenner, some type of Jenner.
Yeah. It was
parody Pepsi commercial.
Yeah, so whatever that dumb Pepsi commercial was, where Kendall Jenner with all her richness said, I can solve everything with
I'm
Pepsi.
solving racism.
Yeah. A-Train did the same. Oh my god.
I'm solving racism and police brutality.
Yeah, all in one go. Until it becomes real for A-Train.
Yeah, because there's another soup running around.
Gunpowder. Oh no, it's Blue Hawk.
Blue Hawk.
Ah, Blue Hawk.
It's the Blue Lives Matter guy.
I know.
It's the Blue Lives Matter soup.
Blue Hawks matter.
So he's been over policing black neighborhoods, and A-Train's like, hey, can we do something about this?
Right. So I mean, again, this is the price to pay to being a good. Like A-Train realized basically what A-Train has to do this season, like, he realizes, like, I've been a really bad person over the last couple of years. Period.
And his brother is kind of a conduit to telling him that.
Right, like, you've been, look at you.
This ain't real.
This isn't you, this is fake. Like, you just used to, we were track stars, and then you became really fast, and, like, look what we, like, this isn't
like, when have you ever gave a shit about your culture?
No, you don't. You're just you're a pawn in this, you're a cog in this machine, that's it.
So A-Train's like, are we going to do something about this guy? And Ashley's like, whatever.
Yeah, she's just like, I have quarterly reports to do. I don't care about these neighborhoods.
We'll get him to apologize, and then he can donate some money to, like, your community or whatever.
Right.
And A-Train's like, all right, fair.
Yeah.
Fair compromise.
But I'll be there.
Yeah. So Blue Hawk's doing a speech at the community center, and it's going
bad.
Not great.
No.
It goes from bad to worse.
Yeah. Blue Hawk's like, he's like mumbling the lines that he's obviously reading from a piece of paper.
Yeah, the community rightly, well, what about this person? And what about this person? Mm-hmm. Blue Hawk's like, well, if they weren't criminals, and you know how this goes.
Yeah. Who said the show wasn't political?
They start accosting him, and he flies into a rage and injures several people.
Yeah.
Notably, A-Train's brother
breaks his back.
Is crippled.
Yeah.
And that,
yeah.
Not good.
Not good.
Not good at all.
Brutality.
So Soldier Boy is back in America. And things have changed.
Yeah, so Soldier Boy is not from the present day. That guy's from the past. He sees a gay couple walking,
and he's like,
gives the most disapproving, like, when you bring home F's on your report card is the same look he gave.
He's like, that's interesting.
That's just, it's not how we did it in my time, said Soldier Boy.
So basically, the boys, well, Huey and Butcher, not the rest of the boys.
Yeah, because they don't want anything to do with Butcher and Huey anymore. They're like, you guys are doing the thing. You
broke the code.
You became the very thing we swore to destroy.
Not just that, but MM in particular.
Yeah, MM, because Frenchie's your he's one of your ringers. He's more of like the guy that comes up with the things to defeat the things and the gadgets and stuff. But MM, this is so vastly personal to MM. And then it's on top of it was Soldier Boy, and Butcher knew it was Soldier Boy, and he still took the V on top of that.
And he still doesn't care.
Yeah.
Basically, the deal that Soldier Boy strikes with Butcher and Huey is like, fine, I'll kill Homelander. Mm-hmm. It's no big deal.
Yeah. What do you want? I want payback. I want the team. I want payback, and I want payback. Not you, father. You, father.
So Butcher's like, that's fine. More dead soups is fine with me. Yeah, I don't give a shit.
Good, yeah. Care less about Crimson Countess.
Yeah, so that's who they find first. And this is where, Jensen Ackles has some really great scenes before this, but this is when you see kind of how scary he is. Mm-hmm. When she's like, oh man, you haven't aged, or you don't look like you've aged, and you don't.
Yeah. Let's just say he doesn't have any, like, Homelander, at least in the first 2 seasons, tried to hide it a little bit. Soldier Boy has nothing to hide. He's fully the, he's that guy that's across the street.
Yeah.
That just is very unforgiving to certain things.
Yeah, and Starlight and MM have kind of forged like an anti team.
Right. Well, before this is happening, he arrives in New York. He gets back there, and essentially he blows up, like,
because he gets triggered. Yeah, like Winter Soldier style.
He has PTSD, so he gets triggered, and then he just completely
levels like a city block.
Right, and
kills like 15 people.
Yeah, and they're like, well, and then on top of this, Homelander's like, it's not again. I know what they're trying. I see you. I know what you're trying to do. Fake news. This man said, "Hey, this is nothing." Homelander's like, "This is fine. There's no pandemic. There's no soup pandemic. We're fine. Soldier Boy, see, they're like, Soldier Boy died in 1984. We're good. We don't gotta worry about this.
Don't listen to the fake news.
Yeah, listen to me, Homelander. Your pal Homelander.
I would never lie to you.
Yeah. Remember when I was in Dawn of the Seven, directed by Zach? Oh, sorry.
Yeah. So Annie and MM have launched kind of like a counterinsurgency against Butcher and Huey. They're like, you can't use Soldier Boy to kill Homelander because Soldier Boy is a lunatic. Mm-hmm. And Butcher's like, oi.
That's it. That's all he says.
And Huey's like, well, Butcher's also a lunatic.
Yeah.
And Homelander's a lunatic. Yeah. Like, this is our shot. Mm-hmm. We can kill Homelander. Like, Soldier Boy can kill Homelander. Mm-hmm. Why don't you want to kill Homelander?
I love the the counter of like how of course Butcher gets the exact powers that Homelander has. I love it. It's such a crazy, like, ridiculous thing that just you don't even question when it happens.
So now we're like, that was like the good graces. Like Soldier Boy's like, all right, I'm on board. Like, I'll go kill Homelander now. Just lead me to the next two, the twins.
Yeah.
Cue Herogasm.
Oh my god, man! This is one of the greatest, like, you're front facing in what this episode actually is, and like TV
because
history.
It's hyped up because of the gratuity and the sex and the and there's that.
Yeah, right.
But what this is really about is we finally get the showdown between Butcher and Homelander.
It's such a smart way to do it because, like, people are sickos, so they were gonna tune in anyway, and then you were like,
and the social media team leaned into that.
Oh my gosh, they were like, you got this. It was since day one. They said we're doing Herogasm this season.
And you're not ready for it.
Yeah, you're not ready, and they were right.
Not safe for anything. Yeah. Don't show your children.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, yeah.
I mean, you probably shouldn't show any of the boys to your children.
Yeah.
Maybe like Huey and Starlight holding hands, but you can't show Butcher doing stuff because that guy's a lunatic and crazy.
So, yeah, we're getting to Herogasm. The Deep and Homelander do uncover security footage of Soldier Boy killing Crimson Countess. Right. And they're like, oh, crap. And meanwhile, they fired everybody. Yeah. Like, the Deep is just running the analytics department.
I love it. The Deep, he's just like, zoom in, enhance the Deep. No, we're not even going to call him Deep anymore. We're just call him the Deep.
Meanwhile, it's not correct. So Noir sees this.
Yeah.
And he's like...
Noir finally gets character development.
He does the meme of the guy throwing up the peace sign and vanishing.
And disappearing. Yep. Y'all take it easy. I'm out. He just gets in the elevator and cuts his chip out.
He's like, yep, I'm out of here. I'm not dealing with Soldier Boy. And then, meanwhile, Nina and Kimiko and Fredche have their little subplot.
They did the Arrow season 2 ending.
Yeah.
Choose.
Yeah. And he's like, I'm not gonna.
So it's Frenchie's girlfriend, or old girlfriend from that we did see in season 1, I think it was.
Yep.
And Nina says, like, you're either gonna pick her or you're gonna pick Kimiko. That's it.
And Kimiko's like, what if I just killed everybody?
Yeah.
Even if I don't have powers.
Yeah, and she does because she's just so and she says, like, I guess I'm just the monster. And he's just like, no, Moncur.
He's like, nah.
That's it.
He's like, nah, that was great.
Yeah. He just says Moncur and that's it. And then she knows exactly what he says.
And then Newman is trying to strike up a deal with Starlight. She's like, look, we can work together. And I can help you. And he's like, absolutely not. No, you're also a psycho.
Well, yeah. I love how they just lay the cards on the table because, like, they're like friends essentially before this because, like, that's Huey's boss and Huey's girlfriend. So they're like, they're friends. But then she's just like, come on, I know who you are. You know who I am. You know what I'm doing. So, can you stop popping heads? Is that too much to ask for? You mind?
And Newman's just like, nah.
No, I'm good. I'm good. I want to be the president. I mean, that wouldn't be too bad.
And I'll kill you too.
I'll kill you. And
so Starlight's been threatened now by 2 different people.
And then on top of that, Newman can do it because she walks away and her nose is bleeding. Like, she can do it.
Yeah. And then we get to Montpelier. We get to the Herogasm, and it's gross.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot to take.
Hosted by the TNT twins.
Yeah, and who are just gross shells of themselves.
And Soldier Boy's livid.
Yeah,
because he's like, "This was my thing. Yeah. Damn it."
me and Liberty did this back in the day.
Stormfront.
I got my theory on who. It's gross.
Yep. So he confronts the twins, and they're like, it was Noir. Noir sold you out.
Yeah.
And Soldier Boy's like, bullshit.
Yeah, no, he's like, Noir wouldn't make a move without Vought's permission. He would never do that.
And then he gets triggered again, explodes the building.
Yeah.
Kills a bunch of people.
But even more important, like, some of them just are powerless. Like, the people that were in like direct range are just they don't have their powers.
A-Train and Huey run into each other again.
Really, really nice scene between the two of them. And I'm just, like, again, I really like where Huey went this season because Huey's just, he's not afraid of anything anymore.
Because he has powers.
Yeah, he's just like, you're A-Train straight up, like, you start to feel a little bit bad for A-Train.
Because A-Train apologizes and Huey just socks him.
Yeah, he does. He's just like, you kill it, like...
And A-Train's like...
Yeah, you're the reason I'm in all of this is because of you. Like,
and A-Train's like, that actually hurt.
Yeah.
Like, what did you do?
What did you do?
And then, so Soldier Boy explodes the place, and then It's on.
Yeah, it's on. Oh my god. I just didn't think it was. It's so smart. I didn't think they were gonna do it. And then like you're watching, you're like, is this like the climactic middle battle of the show? And it was. And then some.
Because Homelander shows up, Butcher shows up, and Homelander's like, are we really doing this? Yeah. And Butcher's like, yep. Because what does Homelander say? Like, you broke the agreement or something?
Yeah, he's just,
Because like they kind of agreed like, if we're gonna do this, it's just gonna be us and nobody else. And then Soldier Boy's there.
Yeah.
And then Butcher's like, it's on.
Yeah.
So they scuffle for a bit.
And then Homelander realizes, he's like, why do you have powers? He's like, what did you do?
And then...
I love the laser, like, scorched earth.
Scorched earth. Oi!
Oi!
And then enter Soldier Boy.
Yeah.
And Homelander's like, you're like my hero, man.
I love you, man.
I love you, man. And Soldier Boy's just like, buddy.
You're wearing a cape.
You think you're strong? You're wearing a cape. Just a mortal delivery by Jensen Ackles. And he's like, you're not better than me. No, you didn't replace me.
Look, whose statue is outside of Vought Tower right now? Yours or mine?
And then he says the thing. You're just a cheap fucking knockoff.
Oh, and then an all-time comeback. No, I'm the upgrade.
And then it's on.
It's on.
And
they just go into a full-blown, like... Fist fight. It's great. And Butcher's there.
And Homelander has the upper hand.
Yeah.
He gets the upper hand on Soldier Boy.
Right, but before this, MM's got his own... He's got his own... Oh,
poor MM.
Poor MM is right. MM had to get some fluids dumped on him earlier in the episode.
Had a giant dick wrapped around his neck.
Oh, I forgot about that. So MM's like, all right, finally. Like, he even explains it to Starlight earlier. Like, there's a reason. Like, I have my OCD is because like I thought like my family was killed because I woke my parents up because he was in my neighborhood and like he threw a car through the window and like they all died. Like, so I thought like if everything was perfect in my house, like I wouldn't have to wake them up and Soldier Boy wouldn't have to kill them. So this man sees the guy that's been...
And he has the gas that he thought
would just knock
the Russians used to knock him out. And Soldier Boy just...
He inhales the gas. It just throws it on the ground.
And MM's like, you killed my family. My name is Indigo Montoya.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah. Yep.
You killed my father. Prepare to die. And Soldier Boy goes, which family?
Oh, my God. MM, like, just, you know what? Shout out MM. He squares up.
And Starlight's like, nope.
And then I love, Butcher comes back in and, like, you know, MM goes to walk back and, like, he's holding him and, like, MM's like, let me go. And, like, he's literally just holding his hand on his chest. He's like, why can't I move? Like, what did you do, man? Like, let me go,
You took that shit again, Butcher? And he's like...
Yep. Hey, man, I gotta go fight Homelander, man.
I'm finishing the job.
Yeah, like, I don't care whether you, like, this man needs to, like, you're so caught up on Soldier Boy when you don't, like, Homelander's the real issue.
Yeah.
He's the problem. Maybe he's the villain.
From my point of view, Homelander's evil. And guess what? He's right.
Yeah, he is right. They're all evil.
Yeah.
Even Butcher.
Yeah.
Yep.
So they fight. There's a big fight. And then it looks like Homelander's got the upper hand on Soldier Boy. Mm-hmm. And then Butcher steps in. He's like, guess who has laser beam eyes?
Yeah. And then Huey shows up. No clothes. Because that's it's a good power for Herogasm.
Yeah. And they pin Homelander down.
Oh, yeah.
And Homelander is scared.
Yeah. And Soldier Boy's about to do it. He's about to take this guy's powers away.
And Homelander's like,
yeah. Flies away.
Adrenaline flies away.
While this is going on, because I want to talk about Butcher a little bit more, he tells Huey, you gotta leave. Like, get out of here. I don't want you to be here when this happens, because he thinks he's gonna die. So basically, Butcher sees Huey as his own little brother.
Yeah, which we explore in the next episode.
Right. Q Mindstorm.
Well,
the greatest...
Well, right before that, A-Train.
Oh, yeah. So, A-Train... Blue Hawk's there, because why would Blue Hawk not be at Herogasm? Just a piece of crap he is. And A-Train shows up, and A-Train's like... Well, A-Train was already there, but A-Train's just like, hey, man.
You crippled my brother.
Yeah.
Blue Hawk's like, I don't care,
I don't care, man. You saw... Soldier Boy's alive. Why do I care about this?
Your brother had it coming.
Yep. And A-Train says, all right... My brother's, mobility for your life. Cool. And possibly my life also. So, drags him through the streets in a gruesome scene. Just absolutely gruesome. Just...
Kills him.
Just obliterates
Kills himself.
Him. Kills, essentially.
Presumably.
Yeah.
Has a heart attack, collapses on the street. Mm-hmm. But we find out he's okay. Because...
Gotta love this show, man.
Ashley's like, A-Train, we did it.
We did it.
We saved your life.
Yeah. How?
We gave you Blue Hawk's heart.
Ah, crap.
And A-Train's like, Oh my god.
Why would you do this to me?
But I guess I can run again, so thank you. And then, yeah. So we're going to visit Mindstorm, the next person on his Soldier Boy's hit list. And that's what happens is...
I mean, this is like the all-star game for Soldier Boy. Oh my god, this is Jensen Ackles is just like, I'm a horrible, sick, methodical, like, old, out-of-touch person.
One-track mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it shines.
Yeah, and he's...
That Cosby joke?
Do we need to know anything about Mindstorm? And Soldier Boy's like, yeah, if he looks at you, close your eyes. Whatever.
Yeah.
And then he steps on a tripwire and he's like, fuck. The tripwire goes off and he just gets back up.
Yep.
Like it's just an inconvenience to him.
Yeah. I mean, he's the perfect, he's the perfect counter for Homelander, because like I love little things like he's like, doesn't matter, like literally inhaled the smoke from gas that's supposed to knock him out, and
then Butcher goes he gets Mindstormed, and he was like, Butcher, wake up, and Soldier Boy's like, leave him
immediately. He doesn't care about anything.
He's like, he's dead anyway.
Yeah, he doesn't care about anybody. Anything.
Clearly doesn't care about that priest.
No, he does. What's black and white and has red all over.
Yeah, they find Huey and Soldier Boy find a priest and a nun, and Soldier Boy kills the priest instantly because he's like, Mindstorm is controlling him. This is what he does. He was right.
He was right. Yeah, I didn't think he was going to be right. He was right. Because the nun's reading and then just jumps on Huey and starts like, biting him or something? Like,
yeah, and Soldier Boy's like, keep still, stop freaking out, you freaking pussy. Shoots him in the head. Shoots the nun in the head. Yeah. They find Mindstorm and Huey, while Soldier Boy Huey finds Mindstorm first, and he's like, I can save you. I can get you out of here. I don't agree with what Soldier Boy's doing. Let me help you. Mindstorm's, but you just have to help Butcher. And Mindstorm's like, fine, I guess. Butcher's having like a crisis, like this is your life, Butcher, essentially. And that's, you talk about his little brother and his inspiration for why he does what he does.
Yeah, he like protects you. Like Huey's like a point, like a no, don't touch or harm Huey rule.
Yeah.
Huey's under my protection.
Yeah. So Huey gets Mindstorm out of there. Soldier Boy shows up.
They recreate the end of episode 4 of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Goes full John Walker.
But not before Mindstorm reveals some information.
Yeah. Hey, guess what? We'll save it for a second.
We'll save it
for a second.
He caves Mindstorm's face in, and Butcher's like, what did he say?
Yeah.
And Soldier Boy just walks away.
He's like, nothing. No.
Don't worry about it. Yep. While this is going on, Noir's having a crisis.
Yeah. And you find out Noir's just straight up a vegetable.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's deeper than that. It's more than that.
Yeah.
So he, like, sees cartoons.
Yeah. Then through these cartoons, we get the true story of what happened in Nicaragua.
Yeah. So you find out that
Soldier Boy's a racist.
He's a racist. He's abusive. He's like physically abusive, sexually abusive. Like, he's just a horrible person. And Noir's just like, hey, they all kind of come up with a plan, led by none other than Stan Edgar. What if we take Soldier Boy out? I got a kid cooking up in the works. I got something cooking. Who's gonna be better than Soldier Boy? He just needs to be taken off the table. Yeah. And then while this is going on, Kimiko and Frenchie have like their comeuppance as Kimiko decides, no, I actually want my powers back. Because she's like, it's me. It was never the V, it's me. This is just who I am.
And Frenchie's like, why would you want that? And she's like, because before it wasn't my choice, and now it's my choice. Really powerful kind of moment where she decides like, I'm making the choice this time. Yeah. And I want to be able to protect the people I care about. And fair enough. So Starlight, while getting this compound V for Kimiko, discovers that the temp V is actually fatal in X amount of doses. So she calls Butcher and she's like, how much of that stuff have you taken? He's like, I don't know. Yeah. 3 or 4 doses. And she's like, 3 or 4 doses can kill you. Yeah. You need to tell Huey right away. And Butcher's like, fine, I'll tell him. Doesn't tell him.
Yep. Oi.
Oi.
Oi, he tells him.
He's like, we need to finish the job, basically.
Oi, Butcher exclaimed.
And then we get a phone. So Homelander's just...
He's just chilling. He's just sitting there, contemplating.
Well, he's contemplating because he confronted Starlight.
Oh, right.
And he's like, this is the speech that you talked about when he's like, I can do whatever I want, show the people that tape. And she's like, I don't have to because you just did on my live stream.
And the woman is like, what? I told you not to keep your phone when we're recording episodes of the reality show we're doing.
So the jig is fully up.
Or is it?
Or is it?
Because some people think that who said this show wasn't political?
Yeah, so Homelander's back kind of marinating on the day's events, and he gets a phone call from Soldier Boy. Soldier Boy's like, I remember a time when I was in a lab and hooked up with some broad, and then Vought asked me to...
Soldier Boy. Oh no.
Oh, no, he's coming for us.
He's coming for us.
Speaking of coming for us, so Vought took his sperm and took it and
guess who that replacement for him was?
Homelander.
And guess what? I need one.
Homelander.
I need it.
Dun dun dun.
Is Soldier Boy's son.
I am your father.
No.
No, that's not true. It's impossible. So Homelander is now spiraling because he's like, I always wanted like a father.
Well, that's a big thing. He has in his character, he has such attachment issues, and he's like, I needed a father. Like my father figure died. My mother, my weird mother girlfriend figure died last season or in the first season, and then my girlfriend died.
So he visits Ryan and he's like, Come on home, Ryan.
Because before this, earlier in the season, we didn't even talk about Ryan yet. Ryan is under the protection of Mallory. I think he's even calling him like Aunt Mallory. He's with her.
He likes Grace.
Yeah, they're just off the grid. They're not supposed to know where any of them are. So basically, Butcher goes to Ryan because Butcher's like, I need to sever all attachments to everything. Like, that's the only way this is going to... Because I could die, and I don't want this kid to lose another father. So he's just like, hey, man, I hate you, little kid that has powers. I hate you.
Not a great idea.
Because then Homelander finds out, because that was the information that he traded to Newman, was he traded the real Compound V for where Ryan was being held, and...
Finds Ryan.
He's
like, come on home, Ryan.
Yeah.
Come with your dad. And Ryan's like, all right, Dad.
You want to meet your grandpa?
Yeah.
You want to meet your racist grandpa?
So Huey's like, and then back at the ranch. Huey's like, all right, Butcher, let's saddle up.
Yeah.
Let's go get Homelander. Butcher goes, oi.
They're like a gas station.
Butcher knocks that Huey out, which is Butcher's way of protecting Huey from the Temp V. Is he a good guy? Nope.
I'm telling you. There's no good people.
So he leaves for New York with Soldier Boy. They're going to square up with Homelander. Like, this is it. We're going to kill Homelander.
This is the Battle of Vought Tower.
Yeah, we're going to kill Homelander. That's going to be it. And meanwhile, Maeve is in Vought Tower. And she escapes Vought Tower because it's like so Starlight has sicked her legions of fans towards Vought, being like, they have Maeve. Like, they did something to Maeve. Find out what happened to Maeve. And so there's protests outside, and Ashley's like, we gotta get Maeve out of here because they're gonna find out one way or the other. Worst thing you could do is put Maeve in a truck just full of regular people.
Yeah, if you forgot that Maeve is she's like a step below Soldier Boy and Homelander. Like, she is strong for her own right.
Butchers these guys. Butchers. These guys.
Oi.
Oi.
Oi, he says.
These guys in a truck, and she escapes. Where does she go? She goes to hang out with MM.
Yep.
And she's just chilling.
Yeah, she's like, crap. You know what?
And Starlight's like, hey, glad to see you're alive. And Maeve's like, you couldn't have broke me out of there while you were there. And Starlight's like, I figured you could handle it. And yeah, so Homelander, Noir comes back to Vought Tower, and him and Homelander have like a heart-to-heart, I guess, if Noir's capable of that. And Homelander's like, is Soldier Boy a good guy? And Noir just writes bad on a piece of paper, and he's like, bad.
They do the Iron Man, they do the Captain America Civil War thing at the end.
And Homelander's like, he can't be that bad. And then Noir underlines the word bad like 5 times.
He's the worst.
And he's like, did you know that he was my dad? And Noir's like,
don't screw with me, Rogers. Did you know? And Noir says yes in silence.
And then Homelander kills Noir.
No, not Noir, man.
Rips his guts out, leaves him on the floor. And
we love Noir. All the homies love Noir.
You shouldn't have lied to me. And walks out. And then they're having a staff meeting with what's left of the 7. It's just A-Train and the Deep and Homelander.
Homelander's Tom Brady. That's exactly who he is. He goes into the office and he's just
Ashley's like, okay. We'll get Noir. We'll get a plan.
And Homelander's like, Ashley, shut up.
Shut the fuck up, Ashley.
Shut up.
And she's like, all right, we'll get Noir. Well, and then Homelander puts Noir's helmet on the table. And they're like,
crap.
Is Noir? He's dead.
Yeah.
And A-Train's like, oh, why am I here?
Gulp.
Big gulp. Ashley, take off the wig.
He's just trying to
exhibit his power.
Yeah.
She takes off the wig. Poor Ashley.
Yeah, poor Ashley.
I don't feel that bad for her,
Me neither.
honestly.
She kind of sucks.
And then from here on, it's pretty much A-Train gets a talking to from his brother. Mm-hmm. His brother's like, you suck, basically. Mm-hmm. Go do whatever you're gonna do. I don't care. I'm crippled because of you, basically. And A-Train's like, all right, we don't know where A-Train is gonna go going into next season. Mm-hmm. We don't really know. And then basically the end of this episode is just the showdown at Vought Tower between the boys. Starlight, mm-hmm. Maeve is there, Homelander, and Soldier Boy. Everyone's there. All your faves. Mm-hmm. All your faves are there. And we get one final confrontation between Soldier Boy and Homelander, where Homelander's like, I see now, like, we need to be together.
Yeah. And he brings Ryan as like a bargaining piece, like, look at this lineage, look at us.
We could be a family.
And
before this, Soldier Boy confesses to Butcher, like, my dad thought I was a disappointment.
Yeah, they have a mutual understanding, heart to heart, of like
bad dads.
Yeah, bad dads. Thor should have walked in too and been like, my dad kind of sucks too.
And he's like, I thought being a superhero would make my dad appreciate me, but all he did was say I took a shortcut, mm-hmm. and that I was a disappointment. Like, he never hit me, he never abused me. The worst thing he ever said was that I was a disappointment, mm-hmm. and hold on to that, because it comes back right here, because Homelander's like, no one could stop us.
Yeah, look, this is your grandson,
and
Ryan?
Soldier Boy's like, maybe you're right, mm-hmm. like, but not if we kill each other first. Mm-hmm. And Homelander's like, but why?
Yeah, like, we can team up and take everybody out and run anything. And Soldier Boy's like, I don't care, man.
Soldier Boy's like, I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm not like you.
Yeah.
I'm not this depraved pussy starving for attention.
Homelander's like, I don't care, man.
I'm not starved for attention like you.
I was you.
And then he's like, you're just weak.
Yeah.
And then Homelander goes, weak? I'm you.
I'm you.
And Soldier Boy goes, I know, but you're a fucking disappointment. And then
snaps.
Yeah. And then it's on. It's on again. And again, Homelander's on the ropes, mm-hmm. and Ryan steps in and and zaps Soldier Boy, and Soldier Boy's again, just minorly inconvenienced. Slams Ryan against the wall, and Butcher's like, don't you touch my boy. Mm-hmm. And then Butcher and Homelander team up for a second.
Yeah, and they looked at each other like, don't tell anybody about this. That's like when the Joker and Batman team up for a second, they're like,
I still hate you.
I still hate you. I hate you a little more. But
now we have a battle on multiple fronts. Mm-hmm.
And then Maeve steps in.
Because Maeve wants to kill Homelander.
Yeah, she's just like, this has got to be me.
I'm ending this. Yeah. And Homelander's like, not now, Maeve. While she's like throwing punches at him. And he's like, Maeve, enough.
Yeah.
And then she punches him in the face and makes him bleed.
Yeah, and he's like, why would you... What have I done to you?
He's like, all right, that's it.
Yeah.
So they're scuffling. Soldier Boy's scuffling with Butcher mm-hmm. and company.
Right.
Starlight shows up, and Huey's watching all this on like a security camera.
Yep.
He looks at the Temp V, and he's like, I can help a different way.
Yeah.
Because she confronts him about the Temp V killing him.
And he's like, Butcher saved my life.
In a weird way.
He saved my life.
So he ramps up all the lights. Starlight goes Super Saiyan.
Yeah.
Blasts Soldier Boy, but he gets right back up.
Yeah, because it's Soldier Boy.
Butcher shatters his shield. Mm-hmm. And Soldier Boy is still just trucking along.
He's too strong.
He can't be stopped. Homelander gouges Maeve's eyes out.
Yeah.
Or one of her eyes.
But Maeve's still fighting.
And then Soldier Boy's like, that's it. Mm-hmm. I'm going nuclear.
Yeah, I'm going, and then Maeve's just like,
I'm going full Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
You never go full Oppenheimer.
You can't go full, well, we'll see. We'll see next
So
year.
Maeve, like, looks at Homelander, she looks at Soldier Boy, it's all happening in slow motion.
She gets her hero moment.
She looks at, because that's the whole thing, is Maeve was like, I'm not a hero, Starlight.
Yeah,
like,
this is a front, and this is just a corporate front.
Yeah. So she looks around, she looks at Starlight, and she knows she can kill Homelander right here. She's got him. And she makes the decision to take Soldier Boy out.
Mm-hmm. So she tackles Soldier Boy. They're falling out of Vought Tower. Big climactic piece. You think, it's it. Maeve's dead.
Yep. Big explosion.
Yep.
And
think both of them are dead.
Yeah. And Ryan leaves with Homelander, mm-hmm. which is the big moment that comes out of that.
Can we go home, Dad?
And Butcher's like, Ryan, don't do this. And he's like, I'm leaving with my dad.
Yeah.
leaves with Homelander.
You're not my dad.
You're not my dad. And then we get like our post-mortem, basically. Mm-hmm. Butcher collapses because of the temp V. And he goes to the doctor. The doctor's like, you got 12
months, 18 if you're lucky.
Yeah, to live. And Butcher's like,
oi.
Oi.
Oi, he says.
Oi. It's a sad oi.
Yeah, oi.
The media is mourning the loss of Queen Maeve.
Yep.
She saved her. She heroically gave her life, stopping that Russian radical Soldier Boy.
Yep.
The Soldier Boy statue's ripped down from in front of Watt Tower. Soldier Boy's been...
They ripped the statue down?
Soldier Boy's been successfully vilified. Mm-hmm. While this is going on, the political backdrop...
This show's political?
The presidential candidate had his the Deep killed the vice president.
Yeah.
Because that was another deal struck between Newman and Homelander. Because guess who the new vice presidential pick is? Victoria
Newman, head popper herself.
Yep. So she's there. Annie officially puts in her boys application.
Yeah, she's no longer Starlight.
She throws the garbage down the chute, and MM's like, "Come on, man, put it in a bag."
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This is the most historic building in New York. That was my MM impression.
We find out that Soldier Boy is still alive.
Yep, and he's put back in the cryostasis.
Mallory has him.
Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna get into that because I think I know what they're gonna do.
Mallory has Soldier Boy, and they're like, "Well, now what?" Basically, Maeve is alive. We find out Maeve's alive. She's been depowered by the nuclear explosion. She's just a regular one-eyed woman. Mm-hmm. Her and Starlight have a nice little closure moment. And then they're like, what do we do now, boys? And they're like, well, this is a democracy, so...
And then democracy gets thrown out the window. Knock, knock. Oi!
Butcher shows up.
And Butcher's just like, let me lay out the plot to season 4. We gotta kill this Newman woman.
Yeah, we gotta kill
Victoria. This is a problem.
So the targets are Homelander for now, and squarely onto Victoria Newman, because she's about to be the vice president of the country.
And wouldn't it just be tragic if the president died?
Yeah.
While all this is happening.
Yes. We're at a Homelander rally.
Oh man. It's the Homelander crowd. Just looked very similar to something. I can't put my finger on that January 6th thing that it looks like. I just can't do it.
It's a very similar demographic.
They just pulled the Spider-Man 3. I don't know. I was looking at both these properties, and they look similar.
Todd is there.
We didn't even talk about Todd.
Well, we're going to talk about Todd now. So, Homelander lands, and everyone's like, yay, Homelander, you're the best. Yes. Yay, and Homelander's like,
well, hey guys, I got a surprise for you. If you guys love me so much,
look at my son.
I got a son. Look at him.
And they're like, yes.
Yeah.
A son.
Yeah.
And then one of Starlight's supporters. Yep. Up yours, woke moralists.
You love getting that joke off.
It's great. So one of those woke moralists shows up, and he's like, screw you, Homelander, and he throws something, hits Ryan, and Homelander just obliterates this person. And then there's a stunned silence falls over the crowd before our guy Todd is like, yeah! And then the whole crowd erupts in hysterics.
And new meme alert. New meme alert, because it's been just running rampant.
And Homelander's like,
all right.
I
can do this. But even more importantly, Ryan's there and just like, this is cool.
So Homelander is officially basically just he has no more reservations, no more, he's not worried about anything.
He just killed, I could go to Fifth Avenue and kill somebody. I can go in front of Watt Tower and kill somebody.
And would not lose a single supporter. And it happened.
It happened.
He didn't lose a single supporter, so that's where we're going to season 4. Such a good season of the show.
So good. It's now the groundwork's laid. They're just as fast as A-Train now in terms of just their, how quickly they've spread them to the mainstream. I think that season 1 was like getting people acclimated to being like, this is going to be a dark, twisted version of any superhero property you'd get. Season 2 is just injected a little bit more storytelling into it. And then season 3 is just, it's now like a bunch of people are watching this show. Like, it's like you go places and people are talking about The Boys. That's how big it's gotten. So can't wait to see where they go. Just a phenomenal season, in my opinion. Just really great character work and I love how the best part about this show is that it's so gray. Like I said, there's no heroes or villains in this universe, and is that kind of where we are at right now? There's not really any heroes or villains. It's just people that do good and people that do bad sometimes. I know you were looking at the Comic-Con updates because I was doing the same thing, and woof, can we not wait to talk about this? It's popping off.
Yeah,
it's going crazy. We got to get out of here.
I forgot what I was even gonna say. Just real quickly about next season, the Black Noir thing. I just wanted to talk about quick because this is a big kind of comic moment, and I know this show has not been terribly faithful to the comics, for the better, I might add. The boys' comics are not as enthralling as the TV show is, in my opinion. But one big thing that people have been wondering is, are they going to do the Black Noir twist? So spoilers for the boys' comics if you want to walk away now. The whole conceit of Black Noir is that he is a clone of Homelander.
What? He's what?
And in the comics, at least, is responsible for the heinous things that Homelander supposedly had done. Not including the rape of Butcher's wife, was done by the clone in the comics, not by Homelander himself. And that is basically where Homelander's arc comes to an end, is he's ultimately confronted by and killed by the clone.
Right.
So, will that still be a factor going?
It's almost like, and I think Eric Kripke also said, big thing is that Noir didn't take off the mask for a while, and Noir essentially, by Edgar's kind of choice, was essentially like a like he was meant to be just somebody that was just under the mask. So my big theory is that they are going to do that for the next season. Essentially, Noir's just going to come back, and they're going to be like, who the heck is this guy that they just said was dead and is just equally as strong as, not only Noir, because Noir's strong in his own right, as Homelander. And then they're going to find out that they're going to do the same thing, because a big thing is that Homelander said that he harvested Maeve's eggs to make sure that, we can keep on, because at one time he told her, like, I did want to have kids with you. Same thing as Soldier Boy, like, I did want to have kids with you, so you don't really have a choice. And he harvested her eggs, and now it's looking like what I think is going to happen is that they're going to use Soldier Boy and her to make the Homelander clone. I don't know how they're going to expedite the growth, but they're going to find a way.
Science.
Comic book science. Comic book science. It's going to be Noir next season. He's going to come back. Because if this Marvel Hall H rumor is true, then we'll see how far Anthony Starr plays Homelander for. And again, I don't know how long you can keep a character that powerful alive for.
Yeah, I mean, it felt like it was kind of coming to a head this season. Yeah. And he's had as many near misses this season as he ever did in this show.
Right.
Like, he almost got killed twice, which is 2 more times than he had been in the previous season. Right. So it does feel like Homelander's expiration date is approaching. And he could be readily replaced by either Victoria Newman or Butcher.
Yeah.
Could replace him as the big bad of the show.
And I mean, even so, I just know this show's so successful, and it is kind of like a money producer for Amazon Prime. I do kind of hope this show maybe only goes 4 or 5. I don't think it needs to go
very
past
well.
that, because just the way, because the whole climax of the boys comic is the White House sequence. That's the whole kind of, where the Supes descend upon the White House, and then Homelander gets killed by the clone. Like the whole crux of the whole story. So we'll see.
It could very well end after 4 seasons.
I think that could be the fitting ending to see what happens. Obviously, it's going to be a little different from the boys comic, but I do think this could be it. You kind of kill Homelander, you kill Butcher. Like it's like they rise together, they fall together.
Yeah,
they're just eternally linked now.
Just a tremendous season of television.
Oh my gosh, it's so good.
But that's going to do it for us.
We got to get out of here.
We got to go.
You got to go, man. Shout out Jeffrey Wright. All the homies love Jeffrey Wright.
Yeah, because the Marvel news is coming in quick and fast.
Oh, man.
And we'll be here to recap that and so much more.
Yeah.
On Wednesday, next Wednesday. And you can follow us on Twitter at ProjectINF_pod. You can follow us on Facebook. You can follow us on Instagram.
At the Project Infinite Pod.
Thank you very much. And yeah, so next Wednesday, you can look forward to our full Comic-Con recap, including stuff from DC, from Lord of the Rings, from Game of Thrones.
Are you just trying not to say Marvel?
Culminating in all this Marvel news that we're getting, and we'll likely be talking about shortly. So
he's back.
And yeah.
He's back.
Until then,
he's back.
We will see you next week later this week, I guess. But whatever. It's a Comic-Con week. It's going to be fun. All right, guys. We'll see you next week. Goodbye.
Peace.